Welcome, audience. Today, I have a very special guest with me today, Mr. Larry Davis, young man who he and I, when we were young men, used to bend a lot of corners together. Good people, folks, salt of the earth, my kind of people, raised like I was raised. Know his whole family, man, and they all like that. So, hey, it's a blessing to have him here with me today, and I really appreciate it. Mr. Davis, could you introduce yourself to the audience, please?
Audience, I'm Larry Davis, um, born in 1963, been in Columbus pretty much all my life, 60 years old.
Now, one of the things I really wanted you to share some insight with is the fact that I've seen Columbus off and on since 1977, because that's when I came for advanced individual training when I was in the military. And then I moved back in like 87 and wound up staying for a number of years. And I watched Columbus change. I watch it grow. I watch the demographics change. I watch how the neighborhoods change. Share with us your knowledge and tell us about some of the things you've seen with your own eyes in Columbus, Georgia, as they took change.
It definitely has changed. When I first started school here in Columbus, Georgia, it wasn't integrated. So that was when they did, and it was integrated for if you stayed in a certain neighborhood. If you stayed in a neighborhood with white people, you could go to their school. They hadn't started mandatory busing yet. So when they started mandatory busing, that was a big change for me for Columbus in school, because they had better books, better everything. They had better teachers too, because our teachers they had got their education and didn't really. I don't think they really cared that we get it out. They was just getting a check, living good back in that time, especially for black people. I don't feel like they gave us put in the effort that we needed. I'm not saying they're doing that now. Things have better. By the time I progressed and got the high school, the whole world had changed just that fast. Because we were just getting our rights then in Columbus. Columbus is always been a military town. My dad was military, did 20-some years in there. And so I seen a lot of military. I stayed on Fort Benning almost much as I did in town where my dad was living. But for us, Columbus is a great place to live. I see it going down and changing, but I think it needs to be stopped. And I think we need to do something with the politicians. We ain't getting the politicians ain't putting in the effort. I feel that when the old chief that they fired, I was personal friends with him. I grew up with Freddie Black. They fired him wrongfully, but they forced him out wrongfully. It wasn't him. The same thing that happened when he was there, it's happening now. So nothing changed. He just was the fall guy. And I don't know what we have for as city managers. They're not bringing any jobs, which I think is causing the crime, because people going to live. And what they doing to live, they're going to keep doing it to live. Nobody's going to starve, none of that. I wish they could do something better, to make Columbus better, because I love Columbus. Columbus is a good place to me.
I agree with you wholeheartedly, man. I wouldn't retire here if I didn't think it was a good place. And one of the things that I noticed, and you dead on point with that when you talk about community and the politicians and change, man, because there are a number of large companies I know for a fact that tried to move to Columbus, but people didn't want them here. And when I say people, I don't mean the people who needed the jobs. I mean the people at the top, because then they got competition. They got labor competition. They got to pay people better, and they didn't want that. And there's a few powerful families that's still in Columbus that have control over that, because they control the politicians. So, that being the case, I think that's why it's stuck like it is. And you're right. People going to do dirt before they let their kids starve, if that's all they got left to them. So when you don't want to give people jobs where they can support themselves and their families, they going to get out there and do what they got to do.
Yes, and I blame mostly the black politicians too, because we're the ones suffering most. It's always been us. We're the ones suffering the most if we have these low paying jobs. You know what I'm saying? So they got to fight. I mean, they need to bring it out publicly. You know, that, hey, y'all need to let some good companies come in here. You got to say something.
Absolutely. And you got to do things that will make it desirable for them companies to come here.
Yes.
So they'll want to come.
And
But
not violence, that's not going to happen.
no, not with all the stuff that's going on nowadays. Because I remember at one time, like you say, Columbus, man, everybody pretty much, they didn't know each other, but we did in a way. And it wasn't all violent like it is now, man. Now you can't. You remember back in the day, shoot, we might be in the corners, go to the Legion or wherever, have us a good time, have some drinks, kick it. They can't do that nowadays.
No, they can't. Somebody's gonna get the shooting or something.
Yeah. And it's crazy, man. They can't even have a good time around here nowadays without somebody getting hurt. And that's sad.
Yeah.
That's
You know,
sad.
out of the Forest Road, they're going against the other side of Forest Road.
Ain't that something?
Yeah. One street divided two games.
That's crazy, but that's how it is.
Yeah.
I feel sorry for these young ones nowadays because they ain't got nothing to look forward to. Everything around them is so grimy, man.
Yeah, and all of them got that dream of being on top.
Yeah.
That's what's getting them. That dream. Hey,
Yeah.
wish they could, push that energy towards some other way, but they trying to get on top.
When we was taught the right way, we had people to teach us. And I think one of the things that really hurts Columbus, as in most cities nowadays, it's not just Columbus, I think most cities. And when that crack thing hit back in the 80s, man, it took out a whole lot of people that should have been raising parents of today.
Yes.
And those parents didn't get that raising. So now they don't know what to do. They supposed to be raising kids. They don't have the know-how.
If they survive the crack epidemic.
Yeah.
I mean, some of them bounce back, but they ain't really themselves now. It's too late for them.
I agree wholeheartedly.
I don't know what can be done about that. But
I tell you, I think if we elect the right people, because in our conversations, you and I always felt like people look at politicians and they look up the politician. Well, the politician's supposed to work for us. We don't work for them.
Exactly.
But they don't approach it that way. So when they don't approach it that way, that gives these politicians a pass. And if we just start electing people who are going to do what we need them to do, things will change. But that's what we need to do.
It's so bad, man. Our people won't even vote anymore, man. Columbus have a majority black, but not a black mayor.
Right.
So it tell you what's going on right there. People don't care anymore.
That's true. And that's sad because folks died so they could have that right to vote and they still don't use.
Yeah. I think they got like a 5% edge as far as people. I think maybe 10 by now. But
Wow.
we don't have a black mayor. Don't even get one to run.
No. And I've always said I don't like the way that major companies in Columbus have hiring rights over people that sit on the city board and all that kind of stuff. Because you know good and well what they're going to vote for. If I'm working for this major corporation, who am I going to support, them or the people?
That's right, because I'm going to get fired from them as soon as I don't.
Right. So that piece right there in itself, I never agreed with. And that's one of the biggest problems we have. But hey, it's been real nice chopping it up with Larry. So we're going to have to do this again. It's not like it's over, because it ain't over till the old guys is gone. And we're going to be here for a minute doing what we do. So we're going to let you go, and we're going to see you next episode. All right?
All right.
All right. Y'all take care now.